All right, guys, I'm here with James Krause, and sorry about that, James. We were in the middle of a few questions here, and my Skype decided to update itself and start over again. A couple of the questions we went through before I lost my recording was we were talking about holiday plans and, you know, some stuff like that, having to watch what you eat and things like that, and we talked about Alex. You got a fight with Alex coming up. You're predicting that you'll end up finishing him. And training, you said training was going pretty good. Another question I had for you was it hard to fight Tom? You know, Tom being a really nice guy and somebody that you guys were on Team Dillashaw together. Was that a hard fight?
I mean, you're referring to in the sense of, like, was it hard to fight somebody that, like, I knew and I was friends with?
Yeah.
I guess the real answer is no, not really. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to make friends in this industry, and sometimes it's business, you know what I mean? So, you just kind of have to take those fights with a grain of salt. I mean, there's some people that I wouldn't fight because of friendships and stuff like that. But I mean, you know, Tom and I, we shared the same, like, bedroom and stuff like that, but we were never really teammates. You know what I mean? Like, we were on the same team, but let's be honest, that whole team thing is a joke on the show. That's not really a team, you know?
Yeah.
I was potentially going to fight him on the show, so yeah. I mean, I have to take those things as they come. And, you know, when it boils down to it, they sign the name, and it's either me or him, and it's not going to be me. So that's how I look at it. You know, all that being said, I love Tom. He's a great guy. You know, I'm still cool with him. I don't have any issues with him at all. I still consider him a friend. He's a great human being, but like I said before, this is business, and you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I understand that. That's definitely what you guys sign up for. Where do you think that team stuff comes from on The Ultimate Fighter? Like, they throw on the same color jerseys, and you see people kind of shaming other people sometimes on there because they're not about the team. But like you said, that's not really a team sport. Where do you think that comes from?
Oh, the team is a joke, man. The team's for TV. It's I mean, people, to be honest, like, people get behind team sports. Look at the most popular sports in the world, and in America. They're all team sports, you know? Baseball, basketball, football, soccer. They're all team sports. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it is. So they pick, and a lot of times for the show, you know, there's a bunch of guys that nobody knows that are on there. So they have to give, you know, casual fans that may know who TJ Dillashaw or Cody Garbrandt are to get them to tune in, to get them to know us as the contestants, you know. So it's kind of a bait, it's a ploy to get other people to watch, but at the end of the day, that show's not a team in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, for sure. The Ultimate Fighter Redemption, the season you were on, that was a really good season. You had specifically yourself. You had some really great fights. Was the drama in the house and the coaching staff, was that draining on you mentally?
No, I mean, really, you're in that house for 6 weeks. You don't really have anything to look forward to every day. So any change in scenery was nice for us to see. I guess, you know, it really didn't bother me at all.
Yeah. Now, when you started the season, you actually had to cut weight for a fight that didn't even happen. Did that mess with you a little bit?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I cut 15 pounds. It's not a ton, but it's not nothing to, you know, to, I guess, shy away from either. But it was tough. It made my other cuts harder for sure. But once again, that's what that show's all about, man. It's a different animal, it's a different beast, and that's kind of the things you have to deal with going on that show, or you know, multiple weight cuts, you know, dealing with, you know, I don't know, fight your teammates. I had a staph infection. You know, there was a ton of things you just have to deal with on there, and that's what makes that show so difficult.
When you, like you said, it's for 6 weeks. By the end of that 6 week period, man, is everything everyone does getting on your nerves at that point?
Well, at the end of the 6 weeks, it's not necessarily that people are getting on your nerves intentionally, but I mean, at the end of the 6 weeks, all the contestants are, usually there's 4 contestants left on the last week. And everybody else just doesn't give a shit. So they're staying up late, they're partying, they're being drunken idiots, and that was what was happening on my season. The guys, pretty much Cody's entire team was out of the tournament. So they were drunk, being drunken idiots every night, and that's what happened with, Johnny and I, and he was being a drunken idiot and trying to be cute and funny, and I have a fight coming up, and these guys are up until 3 or 4 in the morning, which I don't mind. I don't mind people being up at 3 or 4 in the morning, but they just don't care anymore. They don't have any respect for what you're trying to do as a competitor. It's all about them. So it gets old. Some of the guys are really cool. Some of them are not cool, and the people that I thought were dickheads about it, I let know.
Yeah. The early Ultimate Fighter, when people would lose, they would send them home. Would you kind of like that formula better?
I mean, no, it doesn't make for good TV. Nobody wants to watch 2 or 4 people left in a house not do anything. That's when the drama starts happening, is whenever people are off and they don't care anymore. So,
yeah.
I mean, as a fighter, maybe, I guess, probably not. I mean, because ultimately, at the end of the day, we're all doing that show for exposure and money. I mean, if nobody tunes in to watch it, you're not getting any exposure. So, it makes the show pretty boring, actually, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I think early in the season, like one of the first episodes, Ramsey was kind of like negotiating with Dana White about your guys' pay. Was you guys pretty stoked about that he got you guys a win bonus?
Yeah, that was pretty savvy of him. I definitely respect that part for sure from Ramsey. That's quick thinking from him.
Yeah, you guys had a really, really great fight. How was you feeling after that one? After you and Ramsey, and then you got to fight Jesse after that.
Yeah, I felt terrible. I mean, I had a concussion, I got a staph infection from that fight. I mean, that was about the worst I've ever felt going into a fight, I think, in my 11-year career. I mean, like I said, I was just destroyed physically. My body just wasn't. I mean, my Ramsey fight was 6 days prior to me fighting Jesse. So
Dang.
I had a concussion. I couldn't see out of one eye. I had a staph infection. Which aren't excuses, but that's the animal of the Ultimate Fighter that you kind of have to deal with. It's part of the show. That's what makes it interesting.
Yeah, so you fight Jesse 6 days later. So how does that work with like the weight cut? Like you finish one fight and then you gotta start cutting weight again a few days later.
Yep, pretty much. You go right back into cutting weight and cutting your sodium and getting ready for the next one. That's exactly how it works.
That was another thing I wanted to ask you about was weight cutting. There's always a lot of talk about weight cutting. Do you like the way it is, or do you think there's a way you could tweak it to make it better, as far as like fighters' health?
I mean, there's always room for improvement for sure. I think that the problem is not weight cutting. The problem is people overdoing it and they're not doing it safely. So. I'm not sure how to fix that really. Same day weigh-ins maybe, or they they test your body mass year round. But it's the people that are getting hurt. That's where my issue lies with them, with the whole entire thing. And I just think that there's a better way to do it. For me, like 55 is a very, very difficult cut. So, but I do it safely and it comes off smooth at the end. But it's not fun. It's not easy. But that's part of the game, So in terms of like, could they do it better? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they could do, same day weigh-ins, and that would make people avoid cutting as much weight, if any. And you have, more people equally sized, I think, fighting each other. But that's probably about the only option really at this point. I mean, I think that there's a couple different ways to handle it, but for sure something probably needs to change before it's going to take somebody dying. That's what's going to have to happen. Somebody's going to end up dying for them to change anything. But it'll somebody will die and then they'll change it, and then unfortunately that's what it's going to take to get somebody to do something about it.
Yeah, I like what you said maybe about like same day weigh-ins or something. Everybody's just trying to look for that little advantage. The competition is just so hard. What inspired you to get into martial arts, man? Like what started it all for you?
I wish I had a really cool story for you. It's just something I just really wanted to do, and I showed up at a gym one day and I enjoyed it. I never left. That's pretty much the gist of it. I got bullied and I was really small in school, and it was something I wanted to learn. So I went to an MMA gym, never left.
Yeah, were you big on any like Bruce Lee movies or just anything like that kind of maybe sparked your interest a little bit in fighting?
I mean, I watched the original UFCs. I mean, I can remember watching them as a little kid, renting them at a movie store. I watched, karate movies and Bruce Lee and Jean-Claude Van Damme. I watched all those, but in terms of like inspiration, I wouldn't say those guys inspired me to fight or anything like that. But I just, I had an interest in what was going on with the sport. I had an interest in how everything worked, and so I mean, like I said, I wouldn't say those guys inspired me by any means, but I was definitely interested in what was going on in the movies and what I was seeing.
Now you're a gym owner, right? You actually own a couple gyms?
Yeah.
How's all that going for you, and is there any prospects that we should know about?
I mean, there's always people coming up. There's always new guys left and right. But yeah, the gym's doing great. I really enjoy competing in business like I do fighting. I enjoy the aspect of just competing in general. I try to be the best at whatever I do. But the gym's still great. We have a ton of up and comers. I mean, it really is. It's hard to pick a couple out, but there's a ton of guys that are hungry and ready to get to the next level soon. I have a couple guys that could potentially be on the next season of Ultimate Fighter soon, but I would definitely be on the lookout for some of those guys for sure.
Awesome, man. Yeah, you got it going on. Hey, are you a big fan of like the memes and stuff? Have you ever seen any like funny ones about you?
I've never seen any ones about me. No.
I know some of them can get pretty big, but of course you're doing well, so that was kind of a stupid question. I guess maybe just I didn't know if you had a favorite one or whatever. They kind of rule the internet now.
Yeah, I mean they're funny. I definitely I enjoy them. I enjoy looking at them. I'm trying to think of one that I like, but not one sparks my. Nothing comes to mind at the moment. But yeah, they're some of them are hilarious.
Yeah, I got reported a couple times there on Facebook. They don't find them as funny as I do. What did you? Who do you think is the fighter of the year in MMA?
Fighter of the year in MMA. Man, that's a tough one. I'm trying to think here. Man, there's probably I don't know, Francis Ngannou. I'm not sure. He's made some big leaps in the past year. I'm sure there's probably somebody that I'm stepping right over. Colby Covington, I guess, has done well. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's somebody I'm stepping right over. I just can't think of them off the top of my head.
Yeah, I hear you. What about fight of the year? Did you see? Was there a fight that you really enjoyed this year?
Man, I'm trying to think of like all the fights.
I know.
In the year.
I know Justin Gaethje had a couple good ones.
Yeah, Gaethje and Johnson was. I didn't see Gaethje Alvarez, but Gaethje and Johnson that one definitely sticks out to me. That one was a really fun one to watch. I actually fought on that card, so it has more of an impact on me for sure. Yeah, I'll probably go with that one. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a solid one.
When you fight on the cards, do you go back in the locker room and like watch the fights and stuff, or are you out of there after that?
Yeah, no, I watch them. I either watch them live in the stands or I go back in the back and watch them. Yeah, I'm a fan of the sport too, so I love watching other people fight. At that point, all my job's done, so it's time to relax and eat and have a good time. Yeah.
Hey, what are your thoughts on fighters being interviewed after being knocked out?
Definitely shouldn't happen. I mean, when you're knocked out, especially bad, it's you're not in the right state of mind to to really do anything at that point, let alone do a full-blown interview in front of millions of people. I can't imagine a scenario. I can't think of one time where somebody's been brutally knocked out, interviewed, and the people were like, "Oh yeah, that was a good interview. Let's do that again."
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I hear you, man. One more thing before I let you go. I just want to review. You do have a fight coming up against Alex White, January 14th on UFC Fight Night 124. And like you said, you think you're going to get a finish on Alex?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Alex is tough, and definitely not discrediting anything he does. He's tough, he's durable, he's got great cardio, he's strong. But I just think I'm on a different level in him. I pretty much, plain simply put, I think that's going to be the determining factor. I think I'm gonna be better than him everywhere. I think I'm gonna, I think I'll be better at range. I think I'll be better in the clinch. I'm definitely gonna be better on the ground. I think there's levels to this game. I think I'm on a different one than he is.
Awesome, man. I want to thank you, for coming on. Got the holiday season, being patient with me. My computer messing up there for a second. Is there anything that you would like to say, or anything? Tell people where they can find you on social media and all that.
I'm on pretty much every social media: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the big ones. Anyway, just give me a follow. Appreciate you for having me on. That's it, man.
All right, thanks a lot, James. I'm a big fan of yours, and these are always very exciting. To interview a fighter, and I'm a big fan of yours. And this was really cool, man. Great Christmas present.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it a ton. Thank you for the support.
All right, thank you, James. Take care of yourself, buddy.
You too, man.
Bye.